All right, so let's talk about literal equations. So a literal equation is an equation that contains multiple variables. And if you want to solve for one variable, you're going to treat the equation just like any other equation. So we're going to use inverse operations just like we did when we had numbers. So in our first example, it says we're going to solve for x. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my line down my equal sign just like we did when we had numbers. And I want to underline or circle, identify the variable that we are trying to solve for. In this case, we're trying to get x by itself. Now, if you think about how we solved equations with numbers, we think about what's happening to the variable x. So right now, x is getting multiplied by a, and then b is getting subtracted from it. So what we're going to do first, I want to get rid of the minus b. So I'm going to add b to both sides of the equation. Now, when I do that, the b's are going to cancel out on the left side. I'm left with a times x. And on the right side, I have c plus b. Now, they are not like terms, so I cannot actually add those. I'm just going to write it as c plus b, that sum. Now, I'm still trying to get x totally by itself. I'm trying to solve for x. So what I'm going to do now, x is being multiplied by a. So I want to divide both sides by a, and that will cancel out my a's. And I'm left with x totally by itself on the left side equals c plus b all divided by a. And that's my final answer. So I'm going to just put a box around it. Notice I didn't get an actual number answer. I'm getting an expression or an equation in this case, and that's okay. We're not always going to get a number answer. In fact, in literal equations, we pretty much never get a number answer. We're going to get an equation as our answer. So let's look at example number 2. It says solve for h. So here's h up in the top of my equation. Now I want to get rid of that fraction. What's happening right now is h is getting multiplied by b, and then it's divided by 2. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, and in doing that, I'm going to get rid of my fraction. So the 2's are going to cancel out, and I'm going to have 2a equals b times h. Now, h is still being multiplied by b, so that's what I'm going to deal with next. I'm going to divide both sides by b, and then the b's are going to cancel out, so I'm left with 2a over b, or divided by b, equals h. Now, you can leave it like that, or if you want, we can just flip the order around. So I'm going to write h equals 2a over b. That's my final answer for this literal equation. All right, we're going to do just one more example together, example number 3. So let's see, I'm trying to solve for x. So kind of like example 1, where we had our variable being multiplied and then also something was added or subtracted. I'm going to deal with that plus b. I'm going to get rid of that first. I'm going to subtract it to the other side of the equation. So when I do that, I have y minus b, so I'm going to write y minus b. Again, we can't actually subtract them. They're not like terms. Equals m times x. I still want to get x by itself. I'm trying to solve for x. So I'm going to divide. Right now, x is being multiplied by m, so I'm going to divide by m. Those m's will cancel out. I don't have a lot of room here, so I'm going to write on the other side. X equals this whole fraction, so y minus b over m. And that is my final answer.